your legal bestie here, attorney Simone Redwine. And this week's edition of Sunday Service. So Sunday Service is simply a concept that I came up with where each Sunday I'm going to answer one of your viewer questions regarding a legal matter. Now, we got the disclaimer at the bottom of the screen to let you know this is for entertainment purposes only. You should always confer and consult with an attorney in your state. This week's guest is someone who's dealing with a slumlord. She lives in a luxury high-rise apartment, but despite that luxury, she's dealing with some issues with her landlord. So let me bring up the resident and also kind of lay the groundwork to explain to you how this works. Welcome, resident. How are you this Sunday?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. If you could just speak. Oh wait, I'm gonna just put my volume up. But if you could speak up just a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that is perfect. Saber
Okay.
Hardy said busted. We've got Connie in the chat. We've got Coffee Cup. We've got Angela. Hit that like as you enter. Go ahead and hit that like. It allows, it signifies to YouTube to suggest this video to others. Okay, now I'm going to lay out the facts as I understand them. We always do a bit of a debriefing before we start. That way I can get some information beforehand and even determine if this is an appropriate type of question for this forum. Now, if you're ever interested in coming on a Sunday service, you can email me. My email information is actually on my website, simoneredwine.com. And also, let me see, here we go. Yeah, you can email me. Forgive me, I was at the pool yesterday, y'all. That's why I'm like beet red. But you can email me. But then also what we do is, like I said, I pre-screen. Here's the information that I had beforehand. I'm going to go ahead and put the banner up. So the gist of it is resident, and mind you, you are allowed to be anonymous, but you have to be willing, as we say here, to share your story. If you would like a confidential consultation with me, of course I do those. The information to book me for that is also on my website. And and just know that any consultation that you book through my website, absolutely confidential and will not be the topic of any episodes. All right. So to proceed, the gist for resident is that there was a recent storm. She's in the state of Texas. I'll just say that there was a recent storm, and as a result of the storm, she suffered some water came into her unit. Water was standing like all in the unit. It upset the floors, etc. This is a luxury unit with like floor to ceiling, beautiful windows. And her landlord is not offered her any compensation on the rent and is taking forever to finish these repairs. In fact, it's my understanding you don't even have an ETA for when they will be done. Yet and still, they want their money on time all the time. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
Describe what are some of the damages that you suffered to your apartment unit?
So the hurricane was on July the 8th.
Okay.
Of course, we were all without power for about almost 5 days. And when I returned back to my apartment, we were without power and water in the building.
Now, hold on a
And
second. Wait. Power or water?
Mhm.
And they were not willing to offer you any compensation for those particular days?
They offered, so when I returned back to my apartment, I found that the AC had also been blown out from the storm.
Okay, hold on. I don't even want that yet. We're not even there
Okay.
yet. So my question is for the days you were without power or water,
Mm-hmm.
did they offer you any rent concession, meaning deduct those
No,
days from your rent? And
no. I
why? What
asked,
did they say was the reason they are not doing that?
they said that I would need to consult with my renter's insurance to
For
get
those
compensation.
4 days? I'm just talking about the 4 days with no power or the 5 days with no power.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. All right. We'll keep going. The reason I
Okay.
say I question that part is here's the thing. The only friends that I have in this area of Houston that still had power were those in apartments. That's because the good apartments have generators. And if they had had a generator, which is completely within their control, this would not have happened. All right, I'll let you continue. I'm taking notes.
Yes. So when I returned back to my apartment, once lights, water was on, I came in and found that the AC was also out. It had been blown out by the storm. And by that time, it was July the 18th. So I'd already been out of my house for almost 10 days.
Yeah.
And so the AC They said they were going to work on it. It took them about 3 to 4 days. And finally, I mean, it was 85 degrees in my apartment. So, of course, I couldn't stay here. I tried to stay one night and it was just horrible. So, at that
Girl.
point, they did offer the guest suite for me to stay in.
Wait. So that must mean the guest suite had power? I mean, it had AC?
Yes.
So all the units didn't lose AC, just
No,
some?
no. Yes.
Okay, they extra trifling. Keep going.
And so I stayed in the unit in the guest suite for about 4 days, um, and they continued to work on my
Wait.
AC.
How large is the guest suite as compared to your
The guest
um
suite is like a hotel room. It's
and
a
your
whole
apartment is how many square feet?
almost 1,500.
And is it, yeah, it's huge. And isn't it two full bathrooms or two and a half?
Two and a half.
Wow. Okay. That's not an equal. They have to replace it with an equal um basically unit, or basically compensate you. It can't even be a hotel room. It needs to be like a suite at a
Yes.
hotel. Keep going.
Yes.
Getting more and more
So
trifling.
so every day I check with them and follow up and try to find out, hey, when are you going to get the AC done? They kept saying, oh, we're working on it, we need another part. And throughout the entire time, the 4 days that they were working on my AC, the maintenance guy asked me to leave my AC running. And so therefore my AC that is not cooling is on for 4 days straight.
Who's paying for that?
And I sent the manager an email and I asked, who's going to compensate me for the electricity bill? Because not only are you running the AC for this period of time, also now they brought in these machines to do remediation.
Okay, so now you got these machines buzzing and making noise. Don't you work from home?
I work from home and I have two big machines in my bedroom because my bedroom floor it's flooded with water
Girl.
and it's carpet. And so they
Wait.
left.
Explain how the water became flooded in your apartment. Tell the
That's a
audience.
very that's a very good question. During the storm, water came through the windows, and apparently the sides of the walls, from I guess the wind was so high.
Okay. That's a
Yeah, and so
that is called a construction defect. So y'all hit that like as you join. Let me just recap for those that are joining us now. What she's describing, what we have is this week's guest is someone who needs help dealing with basically a slumlord that is the landlord for her luxury apartment. She's described that she was out of power because for 5 days during the storm because her building chose not to have a generator. All the other high rises in the downtown area pretty much do. And so they're being cheap and they chose not to get a generator. Then, once the power was back on, her AC was out. And the AC was out, and she's describing the issues related to the AC being out, that there was no ETA for when it would be fixed, and that as they were working on her AC, they have now asked her to run the AC all day, every day, and she's responsible for the electric. Oh, and that's not it, guys. There's also the issue that during the storm that knocked out the power for 5 days, her building had a construction defect where the rain seeped through the windows. She has floor to ceiling windows and into her 2.5 bedroom unit. Her landlord has offered her no concessions on the rent whatsoever. Isn't your rent approximately like around 3K a month?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
We don't have to give the specifics, but yeah, it's around $3,000 a month. No concessions. And they hadn't even given her another unit to stay in that would be of equal size. They would put her in like a little bitty, tiny little, they call it a guest suite, but it's a unit
Mhm.
that's one size. I want to say real quickly, thank you to uh, Celebrity Scandalous. How much to reach you for? How do I reach you for collabs? It's Attorney Simone at Gmail, and I would be happy to work with you on that. And thank you so much for the super chat. All right, continue, please, resident.
Okay. So after being out of the apartment for 10 days, at this point, I returned back. There's water. My bed. I have like this really nice Pulaski bedroom set with vanity, all of, and it's solid wood, and it's sitting on wet carpet for 10 days. 10 days. They still have not. They had still not brought anyone in to do remediation to dry the carpet. So at this point, my asthma's kicking in because I'm smelling
Right.
mildew, and so um, I want to say we're at July the 19th. And so this is what, 11 days after the storm.
Okay.
The demolition didn't start until around the 21st of July. And the storm happened July 8th. When they came in, instead of them removing all of the soak down, and when I say the carpet was soaked, it was literally flooded, like the entire carpet. Like it ruined all of my electrical outlets, anything that was sitting on the floor, my power
You
cords.
can't go back to this unit anymore. Like you cannot live in that unit. They are at a minimum. They need to give you another unit at this point. But that's keep going.
Okay. And so at this point, they bring in these, remediation machines, to pull out the mold and water and all those things. And it's tons of water. Like it took at least 5 days for all the water to clear out of that bedroom.
Wow.
And so during this time, instead of them removing the carpet, they brought a team in to remove the padding of the carpet and left the old, dirty, mildew, wet carpet just sitting there under all my furniture, and just decided that was the way that they would, and then they would decide later if they were going to change the carpet. And so I had to go down and ask, hey, no, you need to remove this carpet because this is disgusting. Like it's soaked. And so then they came in and they removed all of the carpet. So now I have an exposed floor with dirt, everything under, just exposed. And so I have asthma, which is the problem. And so I told them, I was like, look, I can't sleep in this, because I'm inhaling all of this construction dust and all these things. So I wake up sick the next morning. And so then that's when they told me that I need to get with my insurance company to pay for somewhere else for me to live. My insurance company only pays for $1,000 for additional living expenses. So clearly that's nothing compared to, what it would cost to live somewhere else. And and I asked about the electricity bill. So what I would like to know is, do I have a right to withhold rent or anything for the clean? And they've never said who's going to clean the place. I've requested cleaning.
All right, pause. Let's get the question out first before we add more facts. Go ahead. What was the question?
Do I have the right to withhold rent for compensation to get my apartment clean, my light bill, and having stayed out of my place because during the storm,
Pause. You're giving me more facts. All right. So here's the thing. Let me teach you. When you are dealing with a lawyer, if you give them too many facts, they're not going to take your case. Here's why. You're overwhelming us and we don't even know what you want. So you always want to lead with your question, because by telling the question, then we can help steer you towards sharing the facts that are going to be helpful for us to help you. Make sense? Okay.
Okay.
And I should have led with that. Okay. So the question on the floor is number one, and I know you're going to have multiple questions, but number one is, can I withhold the rent in this situation where I've gone through all this? It's different for every state, but luckily for you, in the state of Texas, the answer is hail to the yeah. Yes, you may. But you have to have a very specific situation, which you actually fit. That situation is you have to have been current on the rent at the time that the issue presented itself. You absolutely were current. And see, landlords, especially in Texas, they will make you fear. They will put you in fear and tell you that you can't do that. It's illegal. Of course, they want to scare you. But what you have to inform them is, I am withholding my rent pursuant to the fact that you have created a health and safety violation and will not be providing you with that rent until it is repaired. Because here's the thing, if they file against you in eviction court, and some of them will, So be prepared for that. So you're going to want to put that money to the side, right? But if they file against you, guess what? When you win, they have to pay your legal expenses, and you better run it up, baby. You better run it up. Now in Texas, small claims court, which is held in justice of the peace court, which also handles eviction court, you can get up to at least you can get up to $20,000 now. It's gone up. That's high. A lot of other states is 5,000, 10,000. You can get 20. But the other thing you want to think about as you approach it, you always want to think about, well, what do I want? Yes, I know you want to not have to pay rent while you're in this, but they owe you way more than that. And we'll get into how you build up that claim and what are some of the things you can ask for. But I want to be clear on what you want so I can help you get to success. What does success look like for you in this? In addition to being able to withhold the rent, would you like to be able to get out of your lease, or do you want to stay in this building? Because I have background information where this building is particularly convenient for you for a few reasons. But do you want to stay in this building, and would you be okay with staying but getting another unit just like yours, maybe on a higher floor or a different floor or something like that?
I would be okay with staying in the building if I
Okay.
could get something equal to what I have, and
Yep.
they would pay for me for moving
There we
expenses.
go. Pay for moving equal to what you have. That is nice, equal or nicer. They've got to
Hmm.
pay for your moving. And of course, they're going to have to pay for all the things they messed up, all that stuff. This actually sounds like an excellent kind of matter for an expose on the news. Let me see who I can call. There's a news network that I'm thinking of off the top, because you weren't the only one that suffered this,
No,
correct?
no.
Multiple
So,
floors. But
mhm.
and what I am concerned about for you, as far as a different unit, is we got to make sure you're in a unit that doesn't have these leaky window issue again, or you're gonna be in the same boat, boo. Have they
And
fixed your leaky windows?
so this is the second, right? So this issue has not yet to be addressed. So I emailed a few days ago, or about a week ago,
Oh hell
asking.
no! No, 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 no. I don't even need to know those facts yet, because we don't even. Okay, it's getting stupider and stupider on their part. Uh, Y'all, this woman is paying at least 3,000 a month for this unit in Texas. I won't say what city and stuff. Well, we already know because it's storm, but in Texas, and these people, she's basically been out of her unit, with the accoutrements she's used to for a month now, and got the audacity to tell her that, oh, there's nothing, they're not gonna comp her rent. Here's the thing about justice. Growing up, I was like really skinny. I was like 98 pounds, right? And my dad used to, and I remember there was this girl, she was giving me trouble. And my daddy said, I was getting ready for school. And my dad was like, Simone, I got something for you for school. I said, what is it, daddy? He said, here you go. You got to put this in your backpack. It was a sock with rocks in it. And he tied a knot. He said, that girl come up on you, see it, you roll that back like that, and you pow, pow, pow. I said, Dad, I could go to jail for that. He said, no, you won't. She been harassing you. He said, let me tell you, you just got to whoop her one good time. Whoop her one good time. And then all these other people going to see it. And then her friends going to tell somebody else, don't you mess with Simone, because Simone hit that girl in the head with a rock and made her bleed and go to the hospital. And then one friend will tell another friend about how crazy you are, and then nobody will mess with you. That's why don't nobody mess with me. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Justice is similar in that when it comes to entities like this apartment complex, they really need like one tenant to make that move, and they don't try that stuff again because it's going to cost them money. So it sounds like this is something as well where perhaps the other residents that are going through the same thing, once you guys all know your rights, and feel free to share this episode with them, and then all of you guys attack it, they may be less likely to pull this stuff on others. But then also offline, I'll need you to tell me, who is your property management company? I'm going to pull them up in the county records. And here's another tip on how to find a good lawyer that might cover you. We want to pull them up in the county records, and I want to find out what's a law firm that's beat the brakes off of them legally and a lawsuit that's dealt with something tenant related, because that attorney might be willing to look into your case. The biggest challenge I keep looking up because this is where my ring light is, and I'm used to my camera being there, but this week it's like down here, so forgive me, guys. But the biggest challenge you're likely going to find in trying to get an attorney to take your case is that most people want an attorney to take their case on contingency, and your damages, in order for it to be worth it, your damages really need to be around 30,000 or more. And so if it's looking like your damages or that what you want are things like rent and stuff like that, it makes it difficult for an attorney to take your case unless you're willing to do it hourly. Now, hourly could work too, because in this situation, when you win, you are entitled to your legal fees. But the challenge is you got to put those legal fees, pay them up front. Or you can use the trick of using your insurance. Now, let's talk about that. Now, high rises always require tenants to use their renter's insurance. Part of that is because they trick you, landlords trick you into thinking that your only remedy is through your renter's insurance. No, that's not your only remedy. The things you've described are their fault. They did it. So your other remedy, of course, is to sue them, which you can do in small claims court. A lot of people don't realize small claims court doesn't require a lawyer on your side. That's the same court that you see on Judge Judy. However, whenever you're suing a company, the company does have to hire a lawyer. So you don't have to get a lawyer, but they do. And understandably, that can be intimidating. But here's how renter's insurance works. A lot of people are like, but it's not my fault. I don't want to make a claim with my renter's insurance and have my insurance go up. Now, first of all, renter's insurance is about $10 a month. It's like 10 to 20. Do you remember how much you pay for yours monthly?
$13.
$13. There we go. For a 1,500 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2.5 apartment. The other thing about renter's insurance, though, is when it's not your fault, your premium shouldn't go up from that $13. Here's why. There's something called subrogation. And how I keep looking up here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Excuse the boobs. There we go. I had my camera was like up there, so I kept accidentally looking at it. But with subrogation, how that works is that behind the scene, your renter's insurance is going to get reimbursed by their insurance, as in the landlord's insurance. The two companies literally just write one check to the other because they know good and well it's their fault. And so a lot of times I actually suggest for people, go ahead, make that claim with your renter's insurance, because then it's actually going to open a claim with the landlord's insurance company in the back. And you can actually ask your renter's insurance. You can say, because this isn't my fault, I want you to ask them, will you subrogate the claim to the landlord's insurance company? They're going to tell you yes. Why? Because insurance companies don't never like paying out any money. Subrogate means literally they're going to get reimbursed. And know that your insurance is just a start. So you described that your insurance only gives $1,000 towards you staying somewhere else. Yes. That's the start. The rest is supposed to come from their insurance, the landlord's insurance company. But it's really hard. The landlord often will not give you their insurance carrier. You should ask for it. You should tell the person in the management office in writing, email them and say, forward me your insurance carrier information. Tell it. Forward that to me. I want you to use the analogy of an auto accident because it's the same process. In that if you're in a car wreck, right, and it's not your fault, there's two ways you can handle it. You can use their insurance, you can use yours, or you can use both. You only get whatever your damages are, you only get paid one time. But the reason sometimes people like to use their own insurance is because the other side is taking too long, dragging their feet to do anything. They do that a lot because they'll say, oh, well, we have to make a determination if it's our fault. For example, if it's a car wreck, right? But most people don't realize when it's not your fault, even if you call your own insurance company, that won't cause your rate to go up due to the fact that behind the scenes, after your claim is resolved, your insurance gets a reimbursement check from the person who was at fault and hit you. It's the same thing here. So you're going to want to claim everything you can under your renter's insurance policy. Ask them, are you going to subrogate to their insurer, and will you give me their insurer's insurance information? Okay.
Okay.
From that, I can help you submit your claim to their insurance. The main thing is this: you don't want to talk to their property manager no more, the property manager at your building,
Oh,
because the
wow.
property
Okay.
manager at your building is just trying to cover her job, cover her butt,
Yes.
and not lose her job. She also doesn't have the authority to give you what you want. Property managers are taught to tell you, use your renter's insurance and those things. Here's how I know.
Yes.
One of my besties, love her to death. I won't say her name. Well, she don't work there no more, but one of my besties was, when you're a property manager, you often live on the property. Was living on the property, and a pipe busted in the wall and wet up all her stuff. We was supposed to be going to Dubai, and she calls me like the week before. She was like, "Girl, I don't think I can go to Dubai." I said, "Girl, the hell you are! We got a team now. Everybody got to play their role, and you are the one. You attract this kind of man, and it's expensive. You got to come." She's like, "No, I can't come because this pipe bust, and I've got to make a claim on my renter's insurance, and I've got a deductible." I said, "No, that wasn't your fault. You can claim it on their insurance." She was like, "No, I'm the property manager. We tell people all the time, you got to make a claim with your renter's insurance." I said, "Yes, that's the script that you're told to tell them. And as a lawyer, I'm telling you, it's their fault. And so they're going to make a claim, but then the company is going to pay them." She was like, "Oh, you're right." She called me later and she was like, "You're right. I looked into it, and we pay subrogation claims all the time." They just do not want to create the relationship of ever giving a tenant or being known for giving tenants money off their rent or anything else. All right.
Mm, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to go through the steps of actually opening a claim and speaking to an adjuster, because an adjuster is the only person that can give you what you want, not no property manager, not anybody in the management office. Okay, what other questions? Somebody said shout out to Daddy. The other thing is you want to call the city. You want to call the city.
Okay.
Get them out there because
Okay.
baby, they could. I wish you had called them when all that water was on your floor. Y'all got to start calling the city on these people day one. You cannot give these corporations the benefit of the doubt because they will save their butts at your health expense. So you want to call the city. You
Yes.
want to have an inspector come to your property. You
Okay.
want to tell him all that's going on. He could determine, I don't know all the rules today, but he could determine that you being in this unit with no floor is a violation. Or you being in what mold remediation was done, what mold inspections have been done to ensure that there's none of that. So what happens is if the city comes in and determines that they've either violated a rule or that they've not followed certain processes, they may not listen to you, but baby, they're gonna listen to the city.
Yeah, and apparently they must be trying to do something because I saw the actual regional manager on site for the first time last week, and there were all types of inspections. They were going to every floor, every unit in this building, and there are at least 10 others in the building that are affected because it's this side of the building, and we meet in the elevator every day, and they're going through the same thing.
All right, so let's do this. Now that I know that it's multiple of you, it could be a lot easier to get one firm to represent you all. Have someone in mind in particular, because withholding the rent, like we talked about, that withholding,
Mhm.
not only when it's a health and safety situation, not only is that permitted, but again, like I said, going to court, they got to pay your lawyer's fees. And sometimes they're going to owe you treble damages, meaning 3 times what you've already incurred. Not to mention, you need to go to the doctor,
Mhm.
run up that bill, not run it up
Yes.
like,
No,
but you
I
want
have
to,
to go to the doctor. I've had to purchase another breathing, like breathing machine for because all these things were damaged, and on top of that, I was running around from place to place before they were able to give me a unit to stay in. So I'd stayed 3 different places before that, and
see,
so
mm-mm.
yeah, and my asthma, like, it's bad, like at this point.
Excellent. Okay, Felicia says yes, call city enforcement. And Felicia also suggests write an email to the city because it's more effective. I love you
Oh,
guys in the jury.
thank
You guys
you.
are
Thank
so
you, Felicia.
helpful. I love this community that we're building of viewers. Felicia said, I wouldn't pay them nothing.
Do we know what, like, who
Yes.
do I email, like, directly, or is
Oh,
there?
you're gonna do code enforcement is what you're looking for. Code
Okay.
enforcement. Harris County Code Enforcement is who you want to email. Of course, you want everything in writing. So then that'll be
Hmm.
excellent. Call you're gonna ask to schedule an urgent appointment. You have a health and safety violation from standing water that was there. Now you have like no flooring, but there's also you believe that there could be mold in right. Plus the fact that the windows still haven't been fixed means it's gonna happen again. Because what may have happened during the hurricane is the windows got busted, right?
Hmm.
So they may have been stronger before because that
Hmm.
obviously the water hadn't come in before. Now that they're busted, until they're fixed, subsequent strong storm, it's gonna keep happening. Then what? It, I mean, just crazy. Let's see. The choose compassion says I filed a complaint with the Department of Human
Apartment of
Rights
Human
and
Services.
received a letter that probable cause was found. Oh, and a case against her. Okay, sorry, I thought that was going to be related to this this matter, but congratulations on taking the matter into your own hand and moving your case forward. Um, Someone also suggested that you can call FEMA. See, many people forget, but you can. You absolutely can. They forget about FEMA when you're in an apartment complex often. I think a lot of people think about FEMA when it relates to their houses, but absolutely file it. Definitely file. I like the idea of you want to use all of the governmental resources that are going to check your building. So, with FEMA, have you made an attempt to file anything with FEMA?
So I finally did, and
Okay.
I believe that they base it on how much money you make, apparently. I've never been able to get them to reopen or find the claim that I made with FEMA. And,
Mm.
each time I call, they're saying that they can't find it and
Can
they
you make
can't.
another one?
No, they've not. I've not been able to. They keep saying, well, call back in 24 hours. Call back
No,
in 20.
you make a claim online.
I tried that, and it shows that I have a duplicate application somewhere, and
Got it.
yeah, and it won't go
Sounds
through.
about right.
So, but I will call again
Okay.
today, and
I'm so sorry to hear that, but that sounds about like FEMA. That sure does. Yeah, Simone says FEMA is slow, but the county has to be named in a disaster area. Thank you, Simone. Yes, and this this county has been named. You guys are so helpful. I love you guys. Make sure y'all hit that like button so it gets recommended. And feel free to watch those ads, y'all. The more the more I y'all do that, the more I can make more content. But let's just recap on the course of action. You're gonna you're going to go ahead and open that claim with you've got the claim open with your insurance. You're going to ask them, are you going to subrogate this? And ask them if a claim number has been opened with their insurance, because sometimes it's easier for your insurance to get that information than theirs. But you're also going to ask in writing for the property manager to forward to you their insurance carrier and their claim information for your building, because it's so much better. You want to talk adjuster to adjust, like you want to talk to their adjuster. You don't want to deal with nobody on your side.
mhm,
You can make the determination if you want to withhold the rent. If I was going to do that, I would do it with some type of an email explaining why that this is a result of the health and safety. So I'd have that correlate. It's past the first of
mhm.
the month, right? So rent won't be due again until September, but I would have that correlate with you calling code enforcement, because the
Okay,
more support that you have, the better. And we hadn't talked about station, but they have determined in her specific case here that it is a health and safety violation. What was the wording that they used? Resident, what was the wording that they used?
well, okay. They told my insurance company that yes, my apartment was uninhabitable because of my health.
That's
Yeah, and
uninhabitable.
yeah, and so I wanted to just clarify a couple things because I want
Sure.
to share this with the other residents in the building. I want to share the video,
Okay.
the recording. So we do have a generator, and the generator kicked in like the first day of, right after the storm.
Mm.
And after that, I guess it just kind of only supported outdoor lighting and one elevator, hallway lighting, that type of thing. But it did not support any of our units. And we lived directly across from another high rise that had power the entire time. So I'm not sure. I
All of
guess it
them.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is negligent on their part. Absolutely negligent. You can't charge people that kind of rent, that kind of money. The expectation and the common understanding in the industry is that the building would have a sufficient generator. Nobody, you don't need a generator for decor lights. Get out of here.
Mhm.
Yeah, and someone wrote they should be paying you to move. Right. Oh, they definitely need to compensate her for all the moving. And the thing is, they could so easily simply hire a moving company and say, okay, each resident, these are your units, these are the days, so that you guys didn't have to front these costs. But obviously they have not done that. What was the other thing was there another thing that you were going to, another fact that you were going to share on that?
With the
With the
well,
you mentioned
so the insurance company, when I spoke with them, if they were to cover additional living expense, it only would cover uh, me being out of the apartment due to the storm, no defects, like if there was a defect of the building, if the power was out, all those days, power was out, the AC was out, and I was spending money, traveling from here to there, buying food out, doing all these things, they wouldn't cover it if it was due to power being out.
interesting.
So,
Okay.
so there's no compensation for me on either end for almost 10 days.
Wow. Okay. So you definitely want to, again, those are things that literally the insurance company for the property should be paying you. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why it's important to get that claim open, because you're
Mhm.
literally going to make your request to that adjuster and then they have to come back and respond to you.
Okay. And then, so our rent is due before the 5th. And
Mhm.
so I was trying to wait,
Good
because I
for
was
you.
getting a little heated on the inside every time I
Yeah.
tried to press the button to hit that, send that money. And so I don't want them to charge like an additional fee. Do you feel that I have a right? I mean, like I have a case to not send rent
Yeah,
today?
look it up. Go ahead and look up the Texas rent withholding law, and I want you to read
Mhm.
it for yourself. From
Okay.
what you've shared,
Mhm.
you use they've just here's the issue. Read the law yourself,
Mhm.
but it talks about uninhabitable and certain types of damages.
Mhm.
What's tricky here is your apartment complex wanted so bad to not have to shell out money that once your insurance, because your insurance said they're not going to kick in to pay the certain amount unless the unit was uninhabitable. So the complex said it's uninhabitable. Here's the thing: if it's uninhabitable, you can't charge rent. Goofy.
Oh,
You see
wow.
what I'm saying? So
Yes.
they work so hard to not have to come out of pocket to force your insurance to come out of pocket. Now they done
Mhm.
kick themselves in the butt. Does that
Wow.
make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So what you're gonna stand on is, oh no, you guys, it determined it was uninhabitable. Go ahead,
Mhm.
I want you to get in writing what you should have something. Do you have something in writing? An email is sufficient from your
Mhm.
landlord determining it was uninhabitable. If
Okay.
not, you need to request it. Do you have it?
No, I don't think I.
You better
Yeah,
get, if
you
it's
know
not
what?
in writing, it didn't happen. But you can also contact your renter's insurance
Let me check.
and
Hmm.
ask your renter's insurance for a copy of whatever communication or whatever determination was made
Hmm.
and by who that it was uninhabitable.
Yeah,
Because
and they said that. Yeah, and I asked them
who
to.
is they? We got to be really clear with our pronouns.
So I asked the insurance company
Okay.
to put it in writing and send it over to me, uh, stating that the apartment manager declared it uninhabitable.
Excellent. So you want to get that from your insurance company, and then you want to get it from, and here's how I would set up that manager. I would say this email is to confirm that you have instructed me to contact my renter's insurance company. And my renter's insurance company said they don't kick in unless it's uninhabitable. This is to confirm that the building has determined it was uninhabitable. You can do it that way too.
Okay. Yes. So I did that.
Excellent. Okay. You've already done
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And they didn't write back and say, no, we didn't, or anything like that, correct?
No, she confirmed that she did
Then you got it.
declare that.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Does that make sense to you? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I should have led with that one, boo. You can't charge rent for an uninhabitable apartment.
Oh, wow.
Right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
You feel a little better?
Yes.
Well, that was fun, guys. Let me look at the comments. Let's see if there's any other comments. This is Reba. Thank you so much, Reba. Reba says, file a complaint with the Houston Apartment Association. I love that too. I feel like at this point you can make one complaint and just keep reposting it. Put it on the Better Business Bureau, put it on the Google page of your complex. Let everybody know. Especially given that they still haven't fixed your windows. They still haven't fixed your windows. So the concern is also, if you stay in this building and they just move you to another unit, how do you know they haven't moved you into another unit where the windows have not been repaired either?
Right.
And
so this was the funny thing I wanted to state. When I requested from the manager to let my insurance company know that it's uninhabitable and to send any documents that they could send over, the manager came back to me saying that she said that she never responded to that part, but she said, hey, I heard that you want to get out of your lease. We can accommodate that. And I never asked that question.
Oh, okay. They got to do it all, baby. They got to do it all. But you decide, because you guys, for specific reasons to her, which I won't disclose on here, this building is a particular convenience. So for her, it's not just as easy as just, I'll find another apartment, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
No problem there. All right, we got a few little questions on the side I want to make sure that we get to. You guys, I've really enjoyed this. Again, we're going to do this each Sunday. You are welcome to go to my website, SimoneRedwine.com, and you can submit your questions to see if you can be a guest on the next Sunday service. I generally like to have a call in advance to pre-screen and confirm that your question is one that would be suitable. And then from there, have you come on. As you can see, you can be anonymous. And we do protect, like we haven't discussed what her building is and things like that. We can certainly do that. Again, there's a disclaimer at the bottom. This is for entertainment purposes only, and we recommend that you always confer with an attorney in your state. All right. She says, all in the family has asked, what if you got hurt on the landlord's property? This is a separate question, but what if you got hurt on the landlord's property by another tenant and you live in the same property and the landlord does nothing about it? Oh, I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. The answer to this is that that can be grounds, but it depends on how you were hurt. Now, if you were assaulted by someone else that lives there, it is actually grounds to get out of your lease. And that is because it becomes a health and safety issue. As well, many people don't realize if you're being stalked, if you've got an abusive partner, you can get out of your lease. I had a friend and her partner was abusive. They were both on the lease. Oh, baby, I went and I got that girl. I said, put your stuff. We getting all your stuff. We got all her stuff. We got her bags. We got everything. We drove straight to the police department. Said, you filling out a report. She filled out the incident report. I brought her right back over to the leasing office because he was locked up. I said, we got to get all this done while he's locked up. Brought her back to the leasing office, gave them a copy of it. They immediately let her out of her lease. She owes nothing. The reason they have to let you out of your lease, especially if you're being abused by someone like your co-tenant, is because otherwise, if you come up unalived, they're responsible. Secondly, if you're being stalked by someone else, if you file a police report, this person is stalking, they keep coming to my house, that's another way you can get out of your lease. I don't care if you just moved in and you got a 12-month lease. That police report provides you with grounds to get out of your lease due to the fact that if something happens to you, because right, they're stalking you, they're coming to get you. Something that happens to you on that premises, not only could the landlord be held liable because they were aware of the safety issue and was forcing you to continue living there, but secondly, it's now a danger to all the other tenants there because we know we got a stalker, we got a crazy person on the premises. So just answering that one. Oh no, yeah, the person said, okay, they were assaulted and had, oh yeah, that is absolutely grounds.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely grounds to get out of your lease. Absolutely. But you have to have a police report and you have to provide the police report to your landlord. You don't get to just call the leasing office and tell them what happened over the phone. You also have to remember you got to send it up the chain of command like that because you got to make sure, stop asking people to give you things they don't have the authority to authorize. Okay. So you want to get that in writing and you want to push it up the chain of command. And then Kenya, girl, yes, let's highlight this. Kenya has added and reminded us
Oh,
that FEMA will provide rental assistance for up to 18 months or until damages are repaired. That is you.
wow.
We got to get that FEMA person on the phone. And here's the thing with FEMA, because it's a corporate landlord like you got there, they're going to go after the landlord for reimbursement. So that's what you want.
Mm.
You don't want to have to run around getting money, getting reimbursed for these things. You want to structure it as much as possible so that you can. Yep. She said, go to the ER, get a diagnosis and blah, blah, blah
Oh, wow.
for that issue. For the mold and things like that. I need to join my channel stat. Please do join. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys. Thanks for joining. We're wrapping up here. All right. Any final questions that you have? I really enjoyed you and I really appreciate your time today, residents. Any final questions?
For me, no,
Yeah.
no, I think
Okay,
that's
great.
it.
Well, good luck with everything. We'll follow up offline as well. I can't wait to get your positive update. I feel a positive update that's going to be in the horizon. Good luck with everything, and we want an update when that time comes. Take care. Thanks
Absolutely.
for joining us,
Thank
guys.
you.
You're absolutely welcome. Thanks for joining us in another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? With Attorney Simone, your legal bestie. Tune in this week, y'all. We've got more celebrity drama and legal breakdowns that we'll be jumping into this week. Take care.